Hi Virgos, we have a visitor here. As you can see, a little good luck furball showing up. So let me start this reading with a horoscope overview. And so let's see what is June bringing for you. So it's going to be kind of like music to your ears, as you're going to have really strong emphasis on your responsibilities, on duties and performance. But also relationships are going to be a big focus. You're going to be very goal oriented in June, right, Sapphie? And you're going to be more personally invested in your accomplishments. Maybe you're also going to be in higher demand than usual. So at the same time, usually, yin and yang, one goes with another, white goes with black, good goes with bad. Things can get magnified with this Venus retrograde until the 25th. So you will be taking more definite consideration of your levels of satisfaction, and you'll be making a plan for making improvements that can develop this month, kind of a thing, right? So as I said, look at the little steps everywhere. As I said, relationships will be area of much excitement and maybe even some commotion, because Mars is transiting your partnership sector until the 27th. People might seem to rile you more often, frustrating you at times, and however, they'll be also motivating you the same thing. It's going to be really weird. Usually we are really clear on the emotions we feel, but it's going to be kind of like a package deal sort of a thing, right? So it's going to be some kind of like push and pull going on this month, and it's eventually going to get you to a better kind of like feeling of balance and a feeling of equality, right? So you see, I have a Virgo in me. You can tell that I am freaking OCD. I cannot take these little steps for the reading and cannot take the table where it is. The thing is, I put the gloss on it every day, and I decided to just step in it just enough that this kind of messes up. So also, guys, for you, June can be a month where you might be reevaluating some of your projects and goals. You may be looking behind before you're moving ahead. It's just like a credit rating. Whatever it is there, do I need to build upon it, or I need to fix it in order to build upon it, kind of a thing, right? It might be a focus on past relationships, but it's going to be a completely new viewpoint, new perspective. You will see things differently during the Venus retrograde until the 25th, and all these areas that make you discontented or more prominent are going to kind of come to the surface. Those revelations will actually really motivate you to kind of start fresh. And also, if some of you are really thinking about a business, a career, or professional matters, or in public image, it's going to be really important to focus on that from the 3rd. So you're going to be also developing new attitude with money, and possibly also with belongings, especially if there are some kind of shared belongings. You may also be going over all things and all grounds to correct and refine matters, and then we are moving toward this 25th, when there is basically the end of this Venus retrograde. So we are done combing with a fine-tooth comb over things, right? So in the process, you will be gaining a really, really valuable insight into all kinds of relationships, your working relationships, your reputation, and also the satisfaction that you are feeling, especially with your current work projects or long-term goals. You're going to be doing lots of edits in your life. And when we do edits, we fix something that sounded really fantastic when we were doing, but this can be done better, more elegant, more kind of rolling kind of a thing. And they're going to be really instrumental for you. So we also have the lunar eclipse on the 5th. And for you, that is going to stir up feelings about living conditions or arrangements. It's also going to be something about your personal life. It's going to be emotional world, and it's going to be home and family, right? Maybe even finding a better balance between your professional and personal life, which is going to be really a growing theme for you this year and a big chunk of the next year. So this is kind of like a lunar eclipse that can get the ball rolling, that can manifest for you in home repairs, moving, family drama, or maybe even changing living conditions for some of you. So it's going to be really interesting that you're going to apply lots of action, both in your social and professional lives. But it's going to kind of like make you feel a little bit divided in the first half of June. You'll be learning how to use challenges and obstacles to your advantage, right? It can be a bumpy ride, right? Until you find how much gas you really have to put on. It might be also a time for dealing with illusions. Maybe something have blinded you to progress. Maybe somebody's like throwing basically, that's what Venus retrograde does, puts wool over your face kind of a thing, right? Maybe if you feel a bit drained and if your enthusiasm is kind of like zigzagging, going up and down, just take a breather, take a pause. The inspiration will come. You don't necessarily have to be 100%. We know how perfectionist you are. That's what I inherited with Virgo in my chart from you. Somebody, however, this month will motivate you to get moving on a really long time dream. You'll be really improving yourself, and you possibly might be improving your family and your home situation. Now, the planet that rules you, Mercury, begins on the 18th. It's suggesting it is a time to review your long-term goals and attitudes. And this is like toward your friends, towards groups and networks. This is not going to stop you from, following your heart. In a very kind of like courageous way, I may add, right? Expressing your affections will really come naturally to you. And as the month moves forward, the confidence that you're going to be exude is going to be really well received by others. So the sun enters your social sector on the 20th. That's when we transition to Cancer. And then solar eclipse occurs the following day. So happy summer or happy winter. So these events are going to steer keen interest in your personal happiness and all the people around you, as well as kind of like your standing and position with friends and groups. It might be some kind of drama in your social life that can shake things up. We are going to see if we get Tower over here as well, if it's kind of like that prominent. And also you're going to have new or renewed friendships that are possibly in the weeks ahead of this eclipse. Now Mars is very important because it gives us this force of the nature, right? It moves into your solar 8th house on the 27th. That's the cool one, right? So on the surface, heat in the relationship may lessen a little bit, but some deeper things, something that has been on the bottom, may emerge during this kind of like extended transit. And in this cycle, you will really actually energize your private world. You might even put lots of considerable energy in your relationship and your self-understanding. I'll be getting lots of orders from Virgos. You will go into this analysis and going to say, hey, Kat, I figure out this much. How do I connect the dots that there are some puzzles still kind of like hanging around, right? You will be more interested in making internal changes right now. But making those internal changes, it's a shift that can exhibit itself in external conflicts, right? So I would also say that kind of like a research and analysis are going to be really something that you're going to put yourself full-hearted, full-minded in the last few days of June. Your determination and your patience, you're going to be ready to dig deep into a project or investigation. So both business and personal matters will thrive, and it's going to be a really huge attention to detail, and your determination to overcome obstacles is going to be much, much stronger. You are going to be freaking unstoppable, right? So it also can be transformation that is happening with hobbies and creativity and self-expression, right? In your romantic life, you're going to be really motivated with something that you feel is going to bring you joy, and you will be really heading toward that, like a moth to the fire, and it's not going to end up like a moth on the fire, that's for sure. So let's see what we got here. You have Sky Kitten underlining over here, and you have a Fire Queen. So this is a lots of energy, like your earth energy. This is like air, and this is fire. These are energies harder than you. You're moving in a higher level kind of like existence right now. This is about speaking up or listening up. This is about taking action. The first card is Cat Magic, anything can happen. The magician, when the magician shows up in the reading, especially when it's upright, as above so below, don't think that certain things are just reserved for the others, for the bosses, for the rich, for whatever. Fill in the blank. You can do it. It's telling you have everything. Now it is in your hands. Do you want to do it? So somebody has taught you lessons, and somebody has given you this recognition of this appreciation of things that are happening, and you need to do something with it. Whoa, this is amazing. So you have two wands. So it's both spiritual and it's also very pragmatic, because you have Ace of Pentacles. So it's not only pie in the sky, which basically cat magic does, right? But it's also something that you'll be doing right now, something that is going to last a long, long time. This is like setting your mind to get this freaking oak growing, not the little kind of like grass thing that is cyclical. No, this is something that's going to stay and be there. So hence, in order for you to build something, you're aware that you have to make sure that all of these circumstances are there, and that you're nourishing it properly, that you are handling it properly, that you really want to go in this direction. You have a Sky King. So now this kind of like reminds me to what we had, the Sky Kitten. He's reversed, which means that there is like something, either your own inner voice, you are talking negatively to yourself, you're saying to yourself, in spite of everything that I see, in spite of my wishes, no, I'm moving too fast, something is going on, something is not going in this direction. There is like some kind of hesitancy over here, I really have to say. And you know, you don't use it, you lose it. And there is like something that you are feeling that you, like, I guess you felt the ceiling, you felt that you knew your limitations, and you would always get to that edge and you will come back. And the Sky King is either anger that you get from the outside, but that could be that external conflicts that I told you as well, because you'll be making these internal changes. So let's say you want to do something, you want to, you know, get yourself in a really, really healthy situation, and then somebody else is dragging you down or trying to find any negativity in order to kind of suppress you. People generally resist with negativity to somebody else's change, or they might initially support you, but then, oh come on, and this and this. It's tricky, right? Because it's between somebody else's dreams and yours. So this can be that conflict that I've seen in your astrology. It could be a relationship that you had, or there is like something on the brinks. There's like something that is really not gelling. There is something that is not glowing. Interestingly, I'm seeing the Mercury over here, and I'm seeing Gemini here, and we are going through Gemini transit until the 20th. So it's going to be really prominent. There's like something that is not gluing properly. It's not going to glue as long as this is not done properly, as long as you don't follow your own guidance, as long as you don't get angry that you're not getting everything that you deserve and more. And this also indicates somebody who might be in all of that just for their own pleasure. It's very selfish attitude. Maybe there's like something that has been discussed, maybe something that has been said to you, but maybe it's no longer working for you. So hence you're feeling that's it, that option is off the table. And I really don't care how much I love you. I have to pull this band-aid, and I have to go in a new direction, because my own long-term happiness is important, and I'm not getting any younger. And there it is. Ta-da! You have Ace of Sea. You have like this one and one. Lots of decisions will be happening for you this month. You are closing some loose ends. You're closing certain things that you just couldn't care less about dealing with. And there's going to be a completely new direction. This is kind of like also possibly appearance of somebody, or you might also feel that some affection that was not happening, that was getting too much into that analytical state, which is good, but kind of like it fizzles out, right? It's now revamping. It's kind of like becoming romantic. Something good is happening. And then you have a Ten of Fire, which is similar flavor to one. And look at this. Anything that was known, anything that was familiar, anything that was cozy, because in the scene number 9, they were sitting around this fire pit, and they were all kind of like enjoying the warmth. But now, in spite of how much cats like fire, kind of like save your lives kind of a thing, we need to go, we need to run, and you are not going to have the same attitudes, right? Because I don't know if you can see it here, not as much. They're like these pictures of the big cats over here in that little temple over here. They have worshipped something, and something that has been very important to you is no longer going to be that prevalent. You are completely grounding yourself, kind of like really the force to kind of like reckon with. But you're also going to get tired. Four of sky. Look at that beautiful kitty sleeping in the lavender field. It is giving yourself nurturing and sleep and everything, because you'll be a dynamo. When you have this energy, remember what I said, you have the air and you have fire, very, very high energy. It's kind of like you need to give yourself lots of oxygen tanks, right? If you're getting into the space and breathing, which means that from time to time you really need to go into that. So make sure that you are airing your place properly at home, that you have HEPA filters, that, you know, like, I mean, you get lots of sleep. Sleep is nourishing, sleep is healing, and sleep is also going to get you lots of answers. Your environment is the tower. Ta-da, that's what I said. But this is not you. It's going to be somebody who is not going to like all the changes that you're going through. You're going to be very dedicated. You'll be very willing. As I said, determination is going to be there. Take it business or personal. Somebody might be crashing, though. Somebody might realize, well, he or she, the Virgo that I know, it means business. I'm not going to pull the things, because especially during Venus retrograde, many of us say, never mind, I'll think about it later. No, not you. I said, I'm not waiting 25 more days, kind of a thing. So the tower is like when something happens suddenly. Somebody might be coming with emergency. Somebody be coming with, me. And you will be pointing out to them, interestingly enough, because you're going from the 6 to 7 energy, you need to set your goals. You'll totally put the hat that you have on them and say, you need to think about this in terms of where is this going and why is this going, right? And they need to kind of like figure things out properly. It almost looks like there's going to be onus on them to do that or else. Hopes and fears, and then we have a fire kitten, right? So we had here, interestingly, we also had the chariot over here. So you also might be dealing with a couple that is no longer a couple, but there is like, I mean, part of this couple that continuously talks to you about the other partner, and this partner might not be in the picture for a while, right? You might be also dealing with Cancers and Geminis this particular month, maybe even Scorpio, maybe even in some kind of diseases. Because hopes and fears is fire kitten. There is like this intrigue, there is this determination, there is like something that you really want to do it, because look at the fire. It keeps repeating as a theme over here, right? Fire kitten is curiosity. It's kind of like something else. You're almost like saying to yourself, I don't care how really old you are, let me put it this way, but you're going to all feel that you're 20, that the life is ahead of you, that hey, anything can happen. I don't have to be stuck in a situation. And no, I'm not going to say, well, this is it. You're saying to yourself, if I have to get rid of everything I have, all my furniture, all my books, all the things, all the pictures, everything that I have collected, it's going to be okay, because I'm going to feel lighter. I'm going to feel this is kind of like giving me, growing wings for me and going in a new direction. So fire kittenness is very enthusiastic. It's also, again, very, very high energy. So you'll be kind of like swiveling between, high power, do, maybe doing even lots of exercise, doing lots of activity, to, oh my God, I need rest, kind of a thing, right? And there is a Two of Fire. In the end, you will have to go back to your earth energy. You know that, right? But you're going to have a really hard time going back to that, because you're going to almost get high from this energy, which is normal, right? But this is the card of that decision. This is kind of like you saying to yourself, okay, what are really the goals that I want this month, in which direction? So the whole month is going to be sort of like repositioning. You'll be doing lots of things. You'll be overcoming obstacles. You'll be setting these long-term goals. And anybody else who comes in with their issues, with their problems, you're going to say, wait a minute, not your mommy, unless you're their mommy. And if you're the mommy, you're going to give a recipe and you expect that they follow through. But for somebody else, not your mommy, I'm here to help you, but if I see that you're doing these steps. So you're literally kind of like no messing with you, kind of like a person this particular month. So let's see, what else do I have here? kind of card you're going to get. Oh, let's get this one. Simplicity. That's right. It is actually, life is very simple. We make it very complicated. All the possessions, all the things, all the ego that we feel we have to have, we want to have, and so on and so forth. But actual life is very simple, and I cannot think of a better card for your sign, because it's saying, hey, you know, I have to follow my own star. I have to follow my own intuition. This is what I want. You want beginnings. You want something to last, and you want this something that lasts, that is built on the proper ground, so you're not settling. Anybody who is messing with you will be burned. Let me just put it this way, will be burned. This is not generally timid Virgo that we know, but trust me, it's going to be really forced to reckon with. That's for sure. So my dear Virgo, if you got any messages that resonated with you, please subscribe, because they were meant for you, so you need to get some more. If you want everything to resonate with you, please contact me for a reading with me at tarot.ca. And in the meantime, please join my social media so you can get your daily dose of tarot. And I would love to hear your comments. What the heck is going on, and what happened to Virgos? So until later, you know, guys, that I love you.